Hey, what's up, y'all? What's up? Just chilling outside, backseat of the car. You know, when you get your own car, you always drive, and you never really get the vibe out in the backseat. So when I pull over and just be chilling, watching Netflix or whatever, I just chill in the backseat. People probably be looking like, "What is going on over here?" I'm chilling in the backseat of my car. But I wanted to talk to y'all about something. Y'all know I love, you know, music, movies, TV shows that are based off of fiction, even, documentaries, those aren't. But I have a wide array of interests. And which, is a good thing, at least for me, it's options. But I was recently watching and listening to some music, vibing out to Creed Higher, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Something You Gotta Give Up. John Legend Preach came on. Uh, and, I'm in the middle of binge watching Once Upon a Time right now. And now I'm at the part where everything that's going on in the TV show, just notice, it resonates in real life when it comes to belief and just believing in something. Everybody knows, the Disney movies where the queen is evil and all this other stuff. But I like how Once Upon a Time played it. Because a lot of the stories, based off of Disney, actually, the first writers to write it was the Brothers Grimm. And I learned this in the sixth grade. We actually had to write our own Brothers Grimm version of one of our favorite fairy tales. And if you know anything about the Brothers Grimm, um, the fairy tales weren't how they are. It wasn't all rainbows and butterflies and everybody happy and getting their wish just magically, or their happy ever after just happily. Which in real life is the same thing from all aspects. Even those who are born what we would view as privileged. Yeah, they're privileged to a certain extent, but just being able to just having material things is not everything. Hold on, I'll roll my windows down in the back. Materials mean absolutely nothing. And I say that it's not that they're important or they're of no use, by all means. They have their importance in the uses that they are used for. Like social media. If used in a high vibrational, uplifting way, can create many of changes in a ripple effect. If used in a low vibrational way, can cause chain reactions and a ripple effect as well. There's always a cause and effect in everything in life. Everything. Your thoughts, emotions, actions, views, every aspect of it. Where the world today, things are just becoming more and more reality based, seeming that, you know, happily ever afters don't exist and true love doesn't exist and magic doesn't exist. How I look at magic is how I related to my faith, my belief. All you have to do is believe. If you believe in something, you can achieve it. Because believing is, first a thought of, a dream or wish or whatever. Then comes the belief in it. The dream, you could look at that as the awareness point. The first step is to have the dream. That's the initiation. Awareness comes in when you actually believe, because now you're aware of your wishes, your hopes, desires, your fairy tale ending. And then comes the work. That's the implementation process. And during that, yeah, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to be met with obstacles, challenges, barriers, blockages, or, how we view it in tarot, karmic lessons, karmic debts, biblical generational curses that we have to fight through and endure. And that's where a lot of the time, a lot of us can fall off course, can fall off path, can fall off our track, can stop believing. Because the hardest thing to do is to believe and still have that faith that good is going to come from it, regardless of what your current circumstance is, regardless of what your mindset is, regardless of what your emotional place is. It's still maintaining that belief, that faith. And all you need is a mustard seed. Because, in once upon a time, I know a lot of people, because I was there at first, like, man, I can't stand the queen. But, and it took me, the next episode was like episode 3, and I was like, you know what? There's something more to that. Like, people just don't wake up and be that mean. Like, what happened to this queen for her to just have this outlook on life and want to just destroy everything and everybody and their happiness? Because, we all have, those people who portray the queens in our life. We even portray, the queens in our own life. And it came from hurt. It came from pain. Which love is something powerful. Love can create hate. It can, when you lose love or something you truly care about, something you truly work for, something you truly want or wish, desire, happily ever after, whatever case you want to call it. There is a source of love there, love in it, because if it just wouldn't be a wish or a desire or something you passionately long for day in, day out, if there wasn't some sort of love attached to it. And a lot of us, when we can't achieve that or can't get it, especially dealing with other human beings in relationships, it causes us to harden our heart, because there's, especially when it comes to other people or just the workings of the world, if we had all control in things, of course everything would work out our way. But when there's other variables, other factors, other people, and their free will involved, anything can happen. We can want something to go one way, but because of another's free will and their choices or whatever it is they have going on in their life, it may not go that way. And one of the hardest things to do in love is to let go, is to release, is to move on and heal. Even if, that person or that wish, that dream, that opportunity can't go with you. If it's meant to be, it's going to be. Even if it takes 50 years to come into being, it's going to be. Now, the amount of time, nobody wants to wait around for 50 years to achieve a career or a relationship or whatever it is that your wish is. But it's also being able to be happy during that time, and not dwelling on what we don't have, what we can't or couldn't achieve, or what we wish we had, or what we did have and lost. Because that will eventually turn into hate, jealousy, greed, envy, illusions, distortion. And then those are the things that, we're actually manifesting into our own reality as well. Because our thoughts and our emotions are going towards that. So being able to flip the switch and be happy with the stuff that we do have, that we have achieved, that we have defeated, that we have overcame, that we can go after, that we can have. That's how we switch that, is to look at I couldn't do this, I can't have that didn't work out, but you know what, I can do this, I do have that, I can go after this, I can do this. For whatever reason, it wasn't meant. Maybe next lifetime, like Erica Badu says, next lifetime. Which is a really real song. Because, she's talking about another person, but even if you apply that to any aspect of our life, it can fit with anything. Take a person out and throw an occupation. Take a person out and throw a place, or a dream, a goal, a wish, whatever it is. But it's believing. Things are getting so realistic nowadays because a lot of people, the world, is like, oh, well, no. Happily ever afters don't exist. And, no, you have to do this and this just to get this. You have to climb over this person, use this person as a step stool, or do that or this or all this, malicious things to be able to achieve a goal or a wish or a desire. And we truly don't have to, because we all have the gift and power of alchemy. God made us in His image. Jesus and Muhammad are no different than us. They're people. They chose to embrace and truly believe wholeheartedly in their mission, in what they believe God was telling them to do, in the path that God has set forth for them. Because, at any given time, Jesus could have been like, you know what? No, I'm not doing this. And not have died on the cross. God was giving him, clairvoyance and messages and signs and symbols and synchronicities to know that this is what's going to happen. He knew all of that. He knew when he came down the hill that Jesus was going to betray him. He could have took another way down and escaped and just be like, I'm out. And that's just some realness. Like, for real. Like, if that was now in these days, I'm not even going to sit up and lie. Let's say if that was, because I go and talk from, my perspective, I'll be up there 40 days, thinking too, like, I got to do to what? Say, well, hold on, Pippin, hold on, Pippin. It's like, well, you said you wanted to change the world, but I gotta do what? And and that even goes back to the movie The Black Panther, when in the song that Kendrick Lamar says, it says, "Pray for me." Who needs a hero? Who on the front line of ground zero? My heart don't skip a beat, even when bad times bumps the needle. Mass destruction, mass corruption. The souls are suffering, clutching on deaf ears again. Rapture is coming. But before it's all said and done, it's like, and if I gotta die for it, then that's what it's gotta be. Like, I'm still gonna achieve my mission that I know I was here to do. I was here to fulfill. I was here to lead. I was here to play a part and partake in it. T'Challa at any given time could have been like, you know what, I'm done with this. After he came back, but like, I'm done. Dude and took over, and that's it. He could let it defeat him. But he didn't. He went back and he tried to, he didn't even want to kill the man. He was like, nah, man, because I'm not about to right in the prison. He was like, you don't have to. Like, for all he knew, he wouldn't have had to stay in prison for the rest of his life. Because T'Challa just wasn't that, he wasn't that type of guy in the movie. But he understood where he was coming from as well. Like, okay, you know what? I was completely unaware of all of that. I'm up here living, everything is peachy and good in Wakanda, but I'm not looking on the outside in the bigger picture. But I do see where you're coming from, and yeah, it does need to change. We can't just keep keeping this a secret. But also at the same time, we can't just go back and two wrongs don't make a right. We can't, because they're causing war on us and people in poverty, or minorities, or whatever the core situation was in society. I would just say, causing pain and destruction and hurt and death in society at large. Us creating a war on them it's not going. We're just doing what they're doing. It's not going to make us any different. We're becoming them. Yeah, it's for the intention is right. Your heart is in the right place, but it's the wrong way to go about it. It's the wrong action. Like, we got to find something that does not repeat history, that does not cause us chaos and defeat and destruction and added hurt and pain and suffering. Because that's all that war would have done. If Killmonger would have succeeded, that's all that would have done. It would have caused even more to gain for gangs. Really, because of material stuff. Material stuff is not everything. And when that is truly embodied and truly believed and truly understood, and you are willing to give up everything, all material comfortability, house, home, cars. And I'm not saying a lot of people might be like, oh, well, I have kids and things like that and this of this nature. Like, even if you take back and go back to, like, Fantasia, I'm borrowing this, from somebody. She was told now that she became a mother, she has to live for her child instead of stop chasing her dream to be a singer. Now, if she did that, because she believed that, she had that mindset, but then she overcame it, like, wait a minute. But by me chasing my dreams, because I know I was meant here to sing. I was meant here to make beautiful music, to, to share my story in a musical way, to be able to uplift others. And be like, look, I did this. I went through that. I know what the hell you going through. That shit ain't cool. It hurts. And being able to relate and have other people relate. Like, why y'all think, like, Mary J. Blige was so popular? Because a lot of women was going through what Mary J. Blige was going through. She went through it. So she developed her gift and got her music out. So then now when other women was going through, or even men, because Cause hell, I connect to the music, but you know, people are going through whatever they're going through, and they're able to listen to that song and vibe out. It's like, damn, man, you know, I feel that. Like Bone Thugs and Harmony, home. It's like, Lord, just take me home. Like, take me to because home, you know, heaven is happy, it's beautiful. We ain't got to worry about stress and nothing, none of that. It's like, no, they didn't necessarily want to die, but it's like, man, I want to feel that here on earth, because we are literally living hell on earth. As far as I'm concerned, this is our hell. You know, look around and you can see people homeless and hurt and stuck and taking drugs to escape their reality. And yes, that was a choice, and it's like, but now, you know, they wanted to escape the reality so bad that they literally turned to a drug that will literally further destroy their lives. Like, if that ain't some pain and hurt and trauma, hell, I don't know what is. You know, a lot of us will be like, oh, well, you know, I didn't go. Well, some people aren't that mentally strong. Some people aren't that emotionally strong and spiritually strong to be able to, like, you know what, I don't need all that. Yeah, it's shitty as hell. I'll escape another way. But they was like, you know what, no, I'd rather just completely. You get to that, like, yeah, that's some hurt. That's some hurt. That's some hurt. And even a lot of those, you know, we go after or judge people off of the material gains that they do have. It's like, oh, well, you know what? If you're living right, you're doing this. God's going to bless you, and it's going to show in your materials. Yes and no. That depends on the individual. Because materials aren't everything. That's not what we're here for. It's now, can we live comfortably and be able to enjoy certain material things and certain, you know, material benefits and, you know, things of the world? Yes. But not out of to show off, not out of to prove that you're walking the right path, not to prove to anyone else, not even to prove to yourself. You know, being blessed and being able to go out and buy a $100,000 car is a blessing, a gift, and a privilege that God granted you for being on the right path, for fulfilling your mission, for doing what it is. But just because now that, you know, we rate it like, okay, well, now that they have, you know, a Lamborghini and a house and a mansion, yeah, you know, now they're doing the dang on thing. When there's a lot of music artists that was killing it before they even reached fame. And it took being in the slums for them to get to that point. It's hard to share a story if and heartache and hurt and pain if you've never even, you know, experienced it, and be able to tell it to uplift other people. You know, we could read all we want to read, and because that was the one thing about being in the military. If you ask a lot of people in the military, a lot of people didn't necessarily respect a lot of the people who were just coming in as officers just from going to school, because a lot of the sergeants started in as an E1 and worked their way up, and whether they chose to become, some became officers, some didn't, some just stayed, you know, they want to, you know, they didn't want to take that next step. You know, that was their mission, is to stay sergeants and just move up under that chain of command, not become officers. But even if you look at it as any job, you're more inclined to learn more from and want to follow somebody who has been there, who started off entry level like you did, and then became a supervisor or a manager or district manager and things of that nature. It's like if you start off, but instead of just walking in and becoming just that, you're like, okay, well, where did you get your training and stuff from? Because I even came across that at jobs that I've worked. A lot of people was like, well, they just walked in and we got to train them, but they're above us. So as far as respect in a mutual, like, man, you've been what I did, you worked my job, like I work day in day out. I don't mean because just because they didn't don't have any respect for them. No, because whatever it was they did, obviously they gained the knowledge to be able to uphold that position, whether they have the knowledge behind it going in or not. That's up to them. That's their determination to be able to, like, yeah, I'm walking in and I'm probably gonna be meet with a lot of uh, obstacles and adversaries and people like, oh, well, you don't deserve to be here because I just kind of walked in this position, but yeah, I have the knowledge now. I want to gain the actual experience behind it as well. And those managers end up becoming good managers because they do talk to the employees that they do manage and be like, man, what it is that what are you going through? How do you do your job? What's affecting you in your job? Because they weren't there, so they have to find an understanding behind it, a deeper meaning behind it, and how it's affecting the people that they're managing, one way or another, because they didn't actually experience it. And those are honestly the only two ways. You either have to be humble enough to, even though you're a leader, to be able to follow those who aren't in a leadership role or title or whatever the case may be. Because everybody can learn from everybody. I meet people with different viewpoints on the same stuff that I have a strong conviction on, but they have a completely different outlook on it. It don't mean that they're wrong. That's their outlook on it. That's their viewpoint. So now I just gain knowledge as to how somebody else can look at it. So because they're not the only ones. We are never the only ones to think or feel what it is that we think and feel. So then I might come across somebody else and be like, hey, I actually met somebody else that had that same outlook. And I do understand it. I get that. I believe in God, but don't mean I can't have a conversation about religion with an atheist. I can have a true understanding. Well, like, well, why, do you believe in what you believe? Like, oh, what? If I had that mindset and that reality in that life, what? I would probably feel the same thing. I would probably, have that same mindset as well. I mean, I have my beliefs, and stuff, and I know who I am, and I know what my beliefs are. But it don't mean I can't take something that somebody else from another religion and still apply it in my life if it fits. Knowledge gained is knowledge learned. We all learn. And it never stops, regardless of what your level is, regardless of what your status is, regardless of what you have achieved. If that was the case, doctors wouldn't have to continuously go to school. They could just be, oh, I'm a doctor, I'm a surgeon, I made it, I'm done. No, they have to keep being retrained because there's different outlooks and viewpoints and breakthroughs coming out on a daily basis. So those who want to keep up and not get left behind, they're like, well, shit, let me go ahead and learn what I got to learn. Let me go ahead and bone up and see what this person talking about. Yeah, I may not agree with everything, but, because I disagree with this and they agree with that, we might be able to come up with something completely different and that works with both of us and come up with something new or even improve or enhance, whatever project it is that we're working on. Like in Empire, in the song Heavy. It's hard to explain defeat to somebody that's never been beaten. It is. It's hard to explain struggle. It's hard to truly get that point across if somebody feels like in their life that they never struggled, that they never really necessarily had to, and everything just came, easy to that person. It's harder to, because it wasn't their reality. Not saying that it's impossible by all means. No, nothing is impossible. But it also depends on that other person and their mindset. If they're open minded and open enough to hear and truly understand and be able to put the shoe in on the other foot, it's like, oh, okay. You know what? I never thought about it like that. I never thought about it like that. Or you know what? I had somebody explain it like this, but you know what? The way that you just told your story or explained it to me like that, I get it. But it still all relates back to believing. We can achieve anything that we believe. We are all alchemists. We can all manifest our own reality. Happiness is literally a state of mind. You could be happy with anything. Like my ex actually told me a story when she went on a business trip. Excuse me. When she went on a business trip, she saw a homeless man. Her and the people they were with saw a homeless man, and he was just living it up, listening to music, and it took her and the rest of them by surprise a little bit, but also it brought them so much joy at the same time. It's like material really isn't everything. Like this man is homeless on the street, has absolutely nothing, and they were walking on a beach and people were playing music and stuff, and he's stopping and dancing and listening to the music and vibing out and laughing and walking by them, hey, how you doing? Had a whole conversation with them and just happy as can be. And it was like, and he's homeless, but he's choosing to be happy. He's choosing to be happy. And I know some people might be like, oh, well, what, he can go. It don't matter. Maybe that is a part of his mission, is to be homeless and be like, and show other people that, hey, I don't have to have what you have. I don't have to have this car and house or anything. I can live on the street and still be happy. Maybe that's his role in life. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, my video story is getting full. But happiness is literally a state of mind. If the queen once upon a time didn't go through the hurt and pain that she had went through, she wouldn't be trying to destroy everybody else's, because for her it was like everybody else is being happy, so you know what, everybody else is getting their happily ever afters but me, because I trusted somebody and they betrayed me, or I felt as if they betrayed me, which Snow White really didn't try to or didn't mean to. She believed in what the other person was saying, was like, really? Well, you know what? Love is supposed to be magic. She learned from the queen that love was magic, and she was like, and her mother, and she was like, well, dang, I don't want you to have to lose your mother, and because I went through that, so she was trying to help, and yeah, it ended up causing everything else. But the queen just didn't want to accept that. She was like, you know what? Since I didn't have my happiness, now I'm about to take it out on you and everybody else. They got in my way of my happiness, and And that's a sad existence. That's a sad existence. And as you see in the series, I'm still not done yet. But as you see in the series, it's a sad existence. She's still not happy. She has everything. She in the mayor. She run the town. Still ain't happy. Other people ain't getting their happiness. Wasn't getting their happiness forever. And guess what? She still ain't happy. As far as material goes and money and no, if I get something and it's like $100,000, I get it because I want to get it, and it's a blessing, and it's not worshiping that like, oh yeah, well now I got this, now I'm the shit. It's like, man, no, I was blessed to be able to have this. Something was like a dream that I never thought was possible because it cost X amount of dollars, or it took all this to achieve it. But you know what? I got there, and it's not to be fulfilled from somebody else. It's actually like, man, I worked for this, I earned it. I deserve it, and wow, thank you, God. Not to use a car again, not to drive off in a Bugatti and be like, oh yeah, look what I got. Or it's like, man, no, I was blessed. And not to show off or anything like that. I know a lot of people who have a decent amount of money and walking up and down the street, you wouldn't know. You would think they was just a manager or something, or you'd be able to tell that they were successful in life and doing well, but you wouldn't know that they were millionaires and billionaires. Going to seminars and stuff, I've met people who if you was to see them walking up down the street, you would not know that they were millionaires. You would not know that they were damn near billionaires. You just wouldn't know. Like if we didn't know who Warren Buffett was and he was walking up and down the street, we would not know that this man was a billionaire. We just wouldn't. He ain't walking around with 25 chains or anything like that. He not walking around. Yeah, like dang, I wonder what they do. They drive a pretty decent car. Well, they're successful in whatever it is that they're doing. That's about it. That's, all the assumptions you can actually derive to. But they believed and they worked hard and then they achieved. It's literally believing in magic, and because believing in magic is believing in faith. Because magic is supposed to be something that just happens, and because it just came to creating something out of nothing, making stuff disappear out of nowhere. We could do that by changing our mindset and the way we view and our outlook and our own reality, and moving from whatever stopped us or prevented us before, and obstacles and hurts and pains and the stuff we couldn't achieve and couldn't get, and all the contractions that has not on the end. By just doing that and wholeheartedly believing in it. And yeah, I'm not gonna sit up here and lie to you and be like, oh, it's easy, it's just okay, well, I believe. No, it takes some work to believe. It takes some work. It's literally faking it till you make it and be like, it's gonna get better. No, it's gonna get better. And you keep on doing that, literally a month, 30 days of doing that, a month later, it really starts getting better. And then you start seeing it and you're like, oh, it really is. Oh, well, wow. And then not that, from that mustard seed, if you just, because that's where it started, is that mustard seed, like, you know what, it is going to get better. That's just the mustard seed. That's why you can't feel it. And then that seed's going to plant and grow and cause another seed to fall and plant and grow. Now you got a whole forest of faith just chilling in your heart. And you just like, man, you know what? It's all good. All good in the neighborhood, Because it's not about the money. It's not about the gains and stuff that we get in the material world. A lot of people, we could gain the whole world and lose our soul. Is it worth doing all that? I'd rather have my soul than to gain the whole world. Because that's not replaceable. Everything in the world is replaceable. If it wasn't, we wouldn't have factories, and even if it's two, there's still another one. And even if it's just one, then hey, it's unique and it's special, it's just one. And that's all we got is our life. And all we got is just us. There's no one else like us. Like you. There's no one else, there ain't no one else like me. My soul is irreplaceable. That's not something I can't go out and buy, and and then with the things that we do gain by doing right or actually achieving a dream and achieving a goal, it's about what we do with that. What we actually do with it. It's not about making the money, and it's not about gaining some type of status and having a sense of power. But it's about what we do with that power and what we do with that income. That's the catch. If you're hoarding it up and you can't take it with you when you die, I'm not saying, have enough, for your family and your children, and have to plant a material basis for them to be able to stand on. Yeah, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But also, investing in other stuff that can help other people and flourish and grow and live. Now, I'm gonna keep it, well, if I did it, then you can do it, so I'm gonna need you to go out and do it. Yeah, I'm not saying, I'm not saying help people that ain't helping themselves, because that's where it starts. But those who are trying, what's wrong with helping them? What's wrong with giving back? And I mean, if somebody, takes advantage of the system, because it's always going to be one to do that. It's always. And with 101 point something billion odd people in the world, it's going to be more than that one. But in the military, you say there's always one. There's always going to be that one that's going to try to take advantage of it. But that still shouldn't stop you. Like, okay, well, you took advantage of it. I know, what type of person you are right now. Maybe later on they might change. But as of right now, hey, even in society, like it's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. But as soon as somebody get accused of something, they automatically guilty, and now they got to prove their innocence when it's supposed to be the other way around. It's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, not guilty and then proved innocent. Like I'm even saying, like even if somebody like commits murder or something, and there's people that get accused of false murder all the time. We see that stuff on TV shows when people be like, "Yeah, I was accused, and yeah, I spent 20 years and to get my name exonerated finally." But man, that's 20 years of a life that person can't get back. 20 years. What's wrong if you feel like this person's going to escape, putting them on an ankle monitor, still letting them do whatever they got to do, because, I mean, they're still innocent until proven guilty, and then when they're proven guilty, they lock their ass up. Then start, saying this story and that story about them, because now we're going off of facts and not assumptions, not assuming anything. I mean, because put the shoe on the other foot. Would you want that to happen to you? No, I wouldn't either. It's putting that shoe on the other foot. Would you want that to happen to you? Would you want that to be your reality? Would you want somebody saying or doing that to you? No. So, it's like, why do that to others? I made a few people, upset when the whole Bill Cosby thing went down. It's like, I don't know if the man did it or not, because I just can't be going off of other people's stories. I'm not in the courtroom. I wasn't there. I just can't be going off of other people's stories. Well, that's why it makes it hard for other people to come in. But that's the thing, but it shouldn't. But people do lie, though. That's what makes it hard for people to come forth, is those who do lie. Those people who take an advantage that wants to gain money or some type of status or fame or whatever the case may be in a low vibrational manipulative way. Not the people who actually living and walking, their truth. And by all means, yeah, we all fall short at times. We do. Ain't nobody around here perfect. We going to have our times where we might feel a little jealous or envy or whatever the case may be. But it's, okay, you know what? I shouldn't be feeling that way. I should be proud of this person for doing this or achieving that or having this or having that or being able to do that or being able to see that. Now, sure, now if I want that, what can I do to get there? Maybe I should reach out to this person. Look, you know what? I ain't gonna lie. I was a little jealous seeing you with your Bugatti, but man, you know what? And I realized, you know what? I'm only jealous because I don't have it, and I wasn't doing, whatever it took to be able to get that and have that. So share some of your knowledge, some of your wealth with me. Not wealth as far as money wise, but wealth in what it in knowledge. What it is that that I don't know, or, help me correct, whatever it is I'm doing wrong so I can get to that status, so I can get there. Because, man, use material if you do like material things, because there's nothing wrong with liking, nice stuff. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Everybody likes nice stuff. Everybody wants to look good and drive nice cars and eat at nice restaurants, eat, nice food and stuff, and not just eat McDonald's and Aldi brand food and, government assistant food. But you let that be your carrot. Let material gains be your carrot. Like, you know what? I want to own a mansion that's $5 million. Now, what I got to do to get there in a high vibrational way? Because trust and believe, you use other people, you manipulate others and step on others and do all that other stuff. It's going to come back. It's going to come back eventually, one way or another. If it don't come for you, it could come for your kid. It could come for the next generation. It's like, I don't want to pass none of my BS along to somebody else because I decided to do wrong. Because not all the time will it come back on us. It could come back on our kids or our kids' kids. Now, I don't want, nah. That's wrong for me. Wrong of me for wanting, and once you're aware of that, And it's like, yeah, no, man, because that could come back on, they could skip a generation and come from my grandbaby or nothing, I don't, because I chose to, do something and be ugly or whatever the case may be. But everybody got where they were because of faith. Even if it was in a low vibrational way and they achieved the stuff they did in a wrong way, they still believed that they could do it. Yeah, they might have did it in the wrong low vibrational way, but they still believed that they could do it. So imagine the possibilities and the doors that will open when truly believing in a high vibrational way. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. If I ever become a millionaire, trust me, you ain't gonna know. I'm not gonna be out here floating around. The more money you come across, the more problems you see. You walking around here like you rich and all that. You going to attract attention of people who aren't doing right, and stick up kids, and and lawsuits and things of that nature. Because there's always one. Where there's light, there's dark. Where there's dark, there's light. There's going to be that dark coming for you to take you down. And a lot of times, especially in this world, it's through material. It's through your money. It's through your gains. It's through your earnings. Through your status. Through your name. Whatever it is. If your name is what holds the status, they gonna come for your name. If it's your money, they gonna come for your money. If your family doing good, they gonna come for your family. It don't matter what it is. But also, that's also, has a part in being humble as well. Not walking around like, no, I don't have to walk around with, 15 chains to prove that I'm doing well. I don't have to buy a t-shirt and a new t-shirt and throw it away to prove that I'm doing well. That's being wasteful. I want to cherish. Hell, I'm going to wear a white t-shirt until it's dingy. Then I'm going to go buy a whole new pack. when I can't wash it in my whites with the bleach and it come out looking nice, then it's time to go ahead and retire it and go ahead and get a new pack. Because we can't be happy with the littlest of things, with not really having much. We're not going to be happy with having more. Because material stuff can't buy happiness. And I know they say, oh, well, for some people, money can buy happiness to a certain extent, material happiness. But is your soul happy? Is your heart happy? Ask somebody who didn't want a lawsuit because, a relative had, or a child or whatever, died through whatever reason. And they won millions of dollars. Ask them, are they happy? No, it took a relief off of them materially and financially, but I'm sure they would still rather have their child or relative here than having a nice looking bank account. I don't know not one person. I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's always one. But man, believing is something powerful. It's something powerful. And it doesn't matter what your denomination is, what you believe your higher power is, whether it's God, universe, source, spirit, or the law of attraction and science. Belief is powerful. And once you truly believe and you allow that to literally overtake everything within you, you cannot not achieve nothing. Because next is implementation. No matter how many times you fall 7 times, get up 8. That's an old Chinese proverb that I learned going to a seminar. And that is so true. No matter how many times you fall, you get up one more time. We fall down, but we stand up. We are conquerors. It's never giving up. If you have that mentality to never give up, Eventually, you're going to succeed. Eventually, just having the patience to be able to get there, regardless of how long it takes. But we also, from the mistakes, be able to learn from those mistakes as well. We can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again and not learning from anything, because doing the same thing over and over again expecting a different result is insanity. Is literally the definition of insanity. Now, doing the same thing and be able to tweak a little stuff and learning some bits and pieces here and there, that's not insanity. That's you trying to learn. That's progression. Thomas, it took what? Albert Einstein how many times? Right. Hell, with this generation, with our generation, the popcorn generation, shoot, we would try like maybe 1,000 times and be like, all right, I'm done. Hell, nowadays I see people give up after 2-3 tries. Start, something and be like, it didn't work out. Get frustrated and be like, oh well, it wasn't meant to be. No, maybe it wasn't meant to be right then at that time. Maybe it was ahead of the time, or you just needed to tweak something else, or whatever the case may be. But it didn't mean give up. Not if it's something that you're passionate about. Maybe it didn't work out because it wasn't something that you really wasn't passionate about. And you came to realize, yeah, what, I did like that, but I'm happy that didn't work out, because if that didn't work out, I wouldn't have tried this and wouldn't have found this, and this never would have came to be. But it's still in your mindset, still changing that mind and truly believing. When we believe, we're able to change our emotions and our mindset, and then that becomes as above, so below, and that's what we actually end up manifesting. If you believe you can change the world, you can change the world. And it's not saying that you're the main and the only. No, there's a lot more out here than just you. You're not the only one that think they could change the world. And all the different superheroes from Avengers, they were all individuals, and then they teamed up and became the Avengers. Just saying. A unit is harder to break. Like the movie 300. They all had their own personal strengths. They all had their own personal abilities. And defeated. Yeah, they ended up, I know it was a sad existence, but also at the same time, because they was able to fight it, then the other army, the people who didn't want to join, was like, oh, it's a waste. And they was like, you know what? If they could do it, it was just 300 of them, and they took out all types of people in the fit. You know what? Hell, yeah, man, let's go do this. And then it was like, what, 100,000 of them? I'm just saying. 300 compared to 100,000? That ain't nothing. That might as well be the one. Compared to 100,000, 300 ain't nothing. Now you got 100,000 of these? Oh, hell yeah, they changed the game. It's all about how you decide to, perceive things and change it. Believe. I feel like at the end of the series, the Queen's definitely going to, get her heart, have a mindset, and be able to let go of her hurt, and understand that, her hate and pain is coming from her own personal loss that she's projecting onto others because of what it is that she's gone through. She's slowly starting to realize that, and once she embraces that, she'll be happy, because she will be able to be happy because she will forgive and forgave and be able to move on and have acceptance and find peace to move on and know that it's okay to move on. And even have a happy ending of her own. It might not have been with the person that she wanted or dreamed of, but it doesn't mean she still can't have her happily ever after. Maybe that wasn't supposed to be her happily ever after, and it was meant to happen so then she could have something that she wasn't even dreaming of possibly even happen. Which is 10 times better. But of course, being in hurt and pain, she can't see past that. She sees what she wanted. Baby, sometimes the stuff we want isn't what we need. And sometimes the stuff we need ain't what we want. If we just open our heart and truly allow the change to happen, step out of the comfort zone, take a leap of faith, you don't know what can happen. But still choosing to be happy. At the end of the day, believing that what's meant to be will be, and choosing to be happy regardless. Alright, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Peace.